Why would I use a travel advisor when I can book the trip myself? What up, y'all? It's your bougie bestie and your favorite travel advisor, and I'm here to answer your questions about travel. So, the main reason it is beneficial to use a travel advisor is travel advisors are travel professionals. So, just like you would go to a professional to get your hair done, to get your nails done, to get a facial, to get a massage, you go to a travel advisor for travel. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Most people think when you use a travel advisor, you're paying more for your travel. This is false. You do not pay extra to use a travel advisor. We get paid through commissions with the hotel, the excursion, the car service, the rental car company. If an advisor is charging you, which they can if they want, that's an extra thing that they're doing, but they don't have to. I do not charge. Now, why is it beneficial to use a travel advisor? Let's start with number one, speed. I can look up multiple properties at once, get all of the prices. Every single price that is available will be on my screen, and I can give you a quote within 20 minutes. Number two, benefit. There are a lot of properties that have special benefits that are only available to advisors. The public will never see them, and you can only get them if you book with an advisor. Now, some high-end credit cards have access to these perks as well, and if you book through those portals, you might get those. However, if something goes wrong, you are then dealing with a call center. When you use a travel advisor, you have a personal travel advocate. So if something goes wrong, you call them and they handle it. For instance, I had a client in Japan. She had an issue. She called me. I called the hotel. I got it taken care of. Took maybe 10 minutes and it was done. If she had booked that herself or booked it through a third party, she would have probably been on the phone for an hour, 30 minutes or more, and she wouldn't have been able to get into her room. Third is relationships. Most travel advisors have personal relationships with the hotel, general manager, sales manager, etc. So we can make calls that you cannot make. For instance, I had a client that went to Atlanta. This was their first time at this particular brand, and this was a mid-tier brand. I called the manager, let them know that it will be their first time at this brand, and the manager immediately upgraded them from a 1-bedroom suite to a 2-bedroom suite for no additional charge. They would not have gotten that if I hadn't booked that for them. And I just think the most important thing is having an advisor is like having a best friend that is a travel professional. Any questions you have, any issues you have, you can call them and they will have the answers. Something unique to me is that I can and will book every brand that is available. Some advisors have special relationships with properties, and so they try to push those properties on their clients, but I don't have to do that. That's mostly thanks to my host agency, Lux Rally Travel. They trained me and I have access to everything, and I have no reason to push a particular brand on anybody. The next thing is rate. I have access to rates that you don't have. Don't argue with me, argue with your mama. Very rarely will a client come to me with the rate that I cannot beat or at the very least match. It does happen occasionally, but my track record is at about 90%. I almost always beat the rate. Now, if I can't beat the rate, I will match the rate. The benefit of letting me match the rate is my rate comes with my services. I specialize in ultra luxury, luxury, and affordable luxury, which means along with me comes concierge service. What is that, you ask? Let's say you're in a city and you want to go to a Michelin star restaurant and that restaurant is booked for a year. I can make some calls and 90% of the time, I'll get you in there. I can't say 100% of the time because as much as I would love to be able to kick out the richest man in the world who's booked the entire restaurant up that particular day, I'm not that powerful. But where there's a will, there's a way. Ultimately, a travel advisor is like having a best friend that travels and knows all about travel and gets really good deals. If you use the same one enough times, they will eventually learn your preferences and you won't even have to tell them what you want. I have clients who I know their aesthetic. I know what kind of aesthetic they like. I know if they're foodies, they want to be near food. If they're adventurers, they want to be able to get out in the streets and climb some mountains. If they're partiers, they want to be near the club. If they're just relaxing, they just want to relax. They don't want to do anything. They can just hit me up and be like, hey girl, I want to take a trip to Greece. Boom. Here's 2 recommendations. You want me to book it? Yes or no? Let's go. Done. 30 minutes or less. So yeah, that's the benefits of travel advice. I book travel because I love it. I became a professional because I'm good at it and I enjoy it. And I just think everyone should experience luxury when they travel, no matter what your budget is. Well, obviously, if your budget is, you know, like $100 a night, I, yeah, but you know, you get it. Anyway, if you have any questions about the travel industry, about travel in general, I am an open book. Please leave some comments in the comments and I will get back to y'all. All right. Holler.